So a very famous piece, the Randal Thompson Alleluia. You can make it smaller. Randal Thompson Alleluia, the most famous piece of American choral music ever written. It's been performed more than any other piece, right? It's a high school level piece. So you pass this out. It's about 11 pages long, I think, something like that.
I don't need to show you all 11 because they all kind of look like
Yeah,
this.
what's the big friction point? It's all the same word, right? No matter how sophisticated your kids are, most kids are going to be like, are you kidding me? It's just Alleluia for the whole damn 11 measures. I swear more at Carnegie Hall than I ever swear in real life. Maybe it's just having Joanna in the room, I think, maybe, or whatever.
Yeah.
So here, it's a problem. Now, this is a masterwork, right? There's no question. Everyone agrees that this is just an amazing and a really powerful piece of music. But kids could care less. I can talk all I want about how important this piece is and how, how it was written by a famous American composer, blah, blah, blah. They don't care. All they care about is it's really stupid because it's one word. So here's an example. Tell me your name. Karen. Karen? Kara. This is getting back to what Kara said, and this is really important. I not only wanted to trick them into liking it, I wanted to trick them into thinking about it in a way that was going to be productive. So my outcome, well, I'll let you guess what my outcome was, okay? This is what I did. One day I said to them, we're going to do a piece. It's a pretty famous piece. In fact, it was done 3 years ago by the Wisconsin All-State Honors Choir. By the way, what friction point have I just covered? Just in that same. What? The quality of the piece, and I've appealed to their pride, right? By just saying that the honors choir did it, they're saying, we can do this, he thinks we can do it, wow, cool, honors choir did it, let's do it, there's that, right? Don't be afraid to use that. That's also introducing the piece strategy. But I wanted to do more than that. So then I said, okay, here's the deal with this piece. It's an unusual piece, it's really cool, and I am convinced you're gonna love it. But here's one thing about it. It's about 11 pages long, it's about 5 minutes long, and it's only one word. Can you believe it? One word. I just came right and said it. I stopped there. Then I said, what would a composer have to do to write a masterpiece that's 11 pages and 5 minutes long and only uses one word? That would be a challenge, right? And this was written for Tanglewood, and it was, he wrote it like over the course of a weekend. It was going to be premiered on Sunday afternoon. He started writing it like on Thursday night. And, but you don't need to know that to appreciate the piece, but what do you think he did to make the piece interesting? And then what did they do? They had to make a list. I wrote it on the chalkboard. It was chalkboard days. They said things like, what do you think they said? They said he could change the rhythm, he could use dynamic contrast. He said he could start in minor and then go to major. Oh, he could start in major and go to minor. Or it could all be in minor. Or it could change keys. Or it could start with just a solo voice. I mean, they started making a list, right? And we wrote them all down. All the things a composer can do to make a piece interesting. Okay, already they are thinking like a composer. The next day I said, you guys have a cool list. I actually typed up your list, and I'm going to give it to you each as a ballot. There's a check mark. And we're going to listen to the piece, and I want you to just tick off anything that the composer, whose name I'm going to tell you right now. Are you ready? His name is, they were just like you. They were all like, this seems important. I said, Randal Thompson. And they're all like, I guess I should know that. It sounds really important the way he said it. So Randal Thompson. And Randal Thompson, let's see what he did. So I walk over to the turntable. This is like 20 years ago. Walk over to this turntable because I only had an LP of it, and I'm about to play it, and I said, wait, I want you to really pay close attention, and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, are you ready to listen? And they're like, yeah. So I go over to the turntable one more time. I'm about to drop the needle. What is the question on everyone's mind at this moment?
What's the word?
What's the word, right? Because I still haven't told them what the word is. So I stopped and I said, can I just ask, what are you all wondering right now? I'm just curious, I want to get in your heads. And they're like, what's the word, right? I said, I think this is worth waiting 5 more minutes of suspense. Let's talk about what kind of word could sustain a 5-minute piece. What kind of word would that be? Okay, all I'm really doing is deflecting. You can see where this went, right? They came up with words. Someone said Alleluia. Someone said Amen. Then other people had words like hope or whatever, and then they argued. I let them argue because arguing is where the learning happens. Like, why hope would get really annoying after a while because it's one syllable, and what can you do with that, whatever. And I said, well, let's see what happens. So then I really played it for them, and the hush in that room and the intensity of listening. I remember this so vividly because it was a teaching moment that I cherish, where they were really listening, and they listened and they noticed, like, yes, it changes key. Yes, altos have the melody. Now the tenors have the melody. All these things, they're not really composers. My kids could not have composed anything like that, like anything really. They weren't composers, but they could recognize great composition, and they were like, yes, and whatever. And then we had a discussion. So when I passed out the music, they could think about was, we get to sing that, and I totally deflected attention. Not only deflected attention, but actually used it as my springboard for looking at how composers, and then that was our outcome. Oh, I just gave it away. Our outcome was like, what can composers do to sustain interest when the text provides no narrative arc? I mean, the text is really just a coat hanger to hold the notes, right? It doesn't, could be almost anything.